Good day, everyone, and welcome to the Story of America. Joining me today is my good friend Kane Castro. He'll be joining me here to do our special election night, well, day after election night coverage. Uh, Jay and Rhett are running late. I don't know if they're going to show up at all, but the show must go on either way. So joining me here is my buddy Kane Castro, as I said it before. Let's go ahead and do this, get this out of the way. Okay, so welcome to the Story of America news tonight. So, Kane,
Yes, sir.
this
Can you hear
was
me?
this was yeah, I got you. So
All
this
right,
was not
cool,
what we were
cool, cool.
expecting to have to see tonight. So, first things first, I want to do this here. I want to do this. Let's take a look right here on the electoral map. So, this is what we've got so far right now. We know that right now Republicans are projected to have 50 seats. The issue here is Georgia's going to be a toss up, and it's going on to a runoff, and we won't know the results of that one until the middle of December. This one here is one to watch because it could mean life or death for the country. Here's another toss up right over here, and we still have some contentious spots right here in Arizona. So one interesting thing that I did want to point out, and let me see if I can find uh, the the Congress. Where is it? This one's on here. So let's look right here. I want to show you this one here from Michigan, because I know this one's got to have you jumping up and down in your seat. So let's click here on Michigan real quick. See if I can get in there. Uh, Let me go over, not the Senate. It's the interactive House election. Here we are. So let's go here to Michigan. So right down here in Michigan, there is a particular candidate that I'm sure, if I got that, let me go back to red there. You were very interested in. If I can, yeah. How do I zoom in here? Let me go full size. Yeah, full size it. Go full size. Damn it. Zoom in. Maybe that's too far in. All right, let's see right here. I don't know how to work this thing, but in Michigan, it seems like your boy has finally managed to secure some stuff in Michigan. John James. So
Okay.
Okay.
How long
How
have I
long
been
have I been
talking about
talking about
John
John
James?
James?
since the 2016 election,
Yeah.
Yeah.
so John James looks to have been projected to handily take of his victory in Michigan, which could be pretty interesting for the Democrats. Let's reset the map real quick here, because I don't think this is correct. Because I don't. Last time I checked, unless more stuff came in since I stopped watching and reviewing, so it looks like the Republicans will are projected to have 227. Let's take a look and see what the real time um,
But what do
map
they
is.
need? They need
They need
218,
218,
right?
right?
They need 218. So let's take a look and see if we can get a real live showing of the map here on New York Times. New York Times is showing right now that the Republicans have 210 seats. The Democrats have 191. So the Democrats have, because of California's votes coming in, Oregon and Washington's votes coming in. So that's where you're getting all these seats for the Democrats. Democrats have closed the gap. The gap was about 40 points earlier. Now it looks like it's been closed down to about 10. Republicans only need 8 more to secure the majority at 218. So that's what we're still
Well,
looking at.
hold on, King. What did John James run for? I didn't even know the motherfucker was running.
So over here in Michigan, John James was running. Let me take a look here if I can find it. We're gonna go interactive map, election map for Michigan. Oh, what the hell? Oh, no wonder. See if I can take a look at Michigan here and see if we have some results here. See that Gretchen Whitmer defeated Tudor Dixon, but if we go, the Attorney General was Democrat. Let's see, where was it? I know I saw John James last night when I was looking at all of this. Here it is, John James, the 10th congressional district. So John James narrowly defeats his opponent. Very close race over there in Michigan. John James wins by what looks to be 2,000 votes, give or take.
Well, it's about damn time. I mean, King. If we're going to talk to your audience right now, it's like I've been talking to you about John James. You said what 2016, right?
Yeah.
This motherfucker is a self-made millionaire. Came from nothing. This motherfucker was in the military. Fucking rescue motherfuckers in a helicopter. Like the Army did. No, killed Chinaman. John James, let me be serious. John James was never taken serious. And King, I've been telling you since 2016, take this man serious. This man might be the first true black president of the United States. Who the fuck is that?
It's some fucking advertisement. Yeah. But yeah, the thing of John James, this
don't he look like Bobby Lashley without steroids?
Hey, don't talk about Bobby Lashley like that. That's my boy. Bobby Lashley is the new generation of Ron Simmons.
I think Bobby Lashley is a little white. Ron Simmons was a real black nigga. I'm sorry to insult your viewers. Like Ron Simmons was a real motherfucker. Bobby Lashley, I don't know. He's a big pumped up steroid motherfucker. But they I mean, other than his skin color, what did he do for WWE?
Well, hell, Lashley's doing pretty good now that he came back. At least from what I've seen, from what I've heard, I haven't really been watching modern WWE.
He lost to the Vanilla Gorilla.
Oh yeah, he just lost to Lesnar, but I think they're going to do a rematch of that at WrestleMania. Right now, Lesnar and Brock Lesnar and Lashley are the two most explosive athletes in WWE right now. Yes. I don't care what anybody says. Bobby Lashley is significantly better than anything Roman Reigns will ever be. And Brock Lesnar is right up there too. And to see the two of them go at it, that's almost a dream match. That's almost like seeing The Rock and Shawn Michaels go at it. Something we never got to see.
Well, there's bad blood behind that. But back on Bobby Lashley, I think they just put him in position to be the most dominant motherfucker in WWE because Bobby Lashley's gonna turn heel.
Oh, what are they calling him now? They calling him because you have Lesnar is the Beast, and now they're calling Bobby Lashley. He's going by the name the Almighty.
The Almighty. But you didn't see the match in what was it? In the Sandman Lamb.
I haven't watched a WWE match. Oh, geez, it's been a long time.
So Bobby Lashley fought Brock Lesnar over there in the Middle East, and Bobby Lashley lost. So Bobby Lashley was built up to be this big hero, and he's going to take out the Vanilla Gorilla, right? And he lost. And then Bobby Lashley lost it. After he lost, this motherfucker attacked the referee, fucked up Brock Lesnar, even though he lost the match. I think Bobby Lashley could be a great heel. Think about it. Big brolic
he was doing a pretty good heel, but you know, that's how Vince McMahon created The Rock. He started him off as a heel with the Nation of Domination, and The Rock became one of the biggest.
No. Go ahead. I don't want to cut you off.
He became one of the biggest. But I believe it was Kama Mustafa. Well, as we all know, the Godfather. He was doing an interview, and he said that Vince McMahon came to him and said, "You guys know Dwayne Johnson?" He's like, "Yeah, he's a pretty cool cat." And he says, "Well, I'm going to put him with the Nation. And I want to get everybody to hate these guys, to hate this guy's guts, and then I'm going to turn him, and he's going to be the biggest thing since Hulk Hogan." And The Rock, once that happened, once he really took his own thing. I mean, he started learning his craft when he was in the Nation. When he perfected his The Rock moniker, The Rock became bigger than what Hulkamania ever would have been.
Yep.
Because, you know, Hulkamania is the 20,000 screaming Hulkamaniacs, but The Rock has the millions and millions of The Rock fans.
But King, this is where I have to agree with you. Vince's initial plan was the Rock baby. So when the Rock came in, he was Rocky Maivia.
Yeah, he was playing off of High Chief Peter Maivia's moniker.
Yes. He was the third generation. And he fought Triple H and took the Intercontinental title. And people were like, hey, Rocky Maivia. But he was such a cupcake. Like when he would go into a fight, motherfuckers throw that shit at him because he was so corny. So this is Vince's genius plan was to put him with the Nation domination. Because now think about it, you got Rocky Maivia. He's supposed to be like the babyface of the company. He's going to save it. And the fans turned on him. And it's because he's black. So now put him with the Nation domination. And he took over. He just took it from
he took it from Farouk. He took it from Farouk. And of course, it also didn't help that this was around the same time that they were kicking out Aham Johnson because he was just hard to work with. And The Rock took over all of everything that Ahmed Johnson, that people hated Ahmed Johnson for. The Rock had those qualities, but he had none of the hate.
Wait, hold on. I don't think Ahmed was ever a member of the Nation. Was he?
Yeah, he was a member of the Nation for a little while, but then he got kicked out of the Nation because him and Farouk got into it real late.
Yes.
And then Ahmed was trying to get into it with The Rock backstage, and D'Lo stretched his ass.
Yeah, D'Lo fucked him up.
Because, you know, D'Lo was like Kurt Angle, a real amateur wrestler. Well, Kurt Angle was an Olympic athlete, but D'Lo was a pretty good wrestler himself. But back to the election because we'll talk about
Yes,
wrestling
sir.
for a long
I'm
time.
sorry.
So
My bad.
back to the election here.
It's not disrupting your audience when I'm sitting here smoking weed. They're gonna be hearing me smoking weed a lot. So I just
Oh, they
want
can't see you, so it doesn't matter.
but they can hear me. I'm like,
But take a look here. Earlier today, when 96% of the vote was in Georgia, the gap between Herschel and Warnock was 33,000 votes. So it looks like Herschel has been able to really close that gap. Now, I wonder if we can zoom in here. Yeah, here we go. We can zoom in here. I want to show this here. So right here, Fulton County, Henry County, and then right up here in Walton County. These are the county, Gwinnett County. These are the counties that Warnock is pulling. Fulton is what called the race last year, last election cycle. Fulton County, and then down here in Athens, Georgia, right here, this little county here, Clark County in Athens, Georgia. These two counties, Clark and Fulton, are what called it against Trump. Now, but here's the thing: these 80,000 votes for the Libertarian candidate. If these 80,000 votes are more towards Herschel than they are towards Warnock, that's enough for in the runoff to put Herschel Walker over Warnock, and the Republicans can take back the Senate. But we don't know why these people voted Libertarian for Oliver. But in the runoff election, if Oliver's not a part of that runoff election, and those 80,000 get split between Warnock and Walker, depending on the county that these votes are coming out of, you could see Herschel Walker run away with Georgia. It's going to be very, very, very close. At one point last night, Herschel Walker, he was trailing Warnock all night. At one point, he did overtake Warnock and came to 51%. But then slowly, as these counties around Atlanta started to come in, that lead dropped and it became 49-49. And after that, Warnock was leading by about zero point 0.8 percentage points all night, and now it looks to be what's that 0.5% of the vote is what's separating that. So this 2% that Oliver got, that's a very big indicator for what might happen come December the 6th. What do you think's going to happen?
well, let me ask you a question. In 2020, wasn't it what's the name of the county that you just said?
Fulton County.
Yeah, wasn't it Fulton County that had water main break leak?
Yes, it was. And and I want to take a look here because Georgia had near record level turnout, almost as much turnout as they did in the 2020 election. And in Fulton County, there's only 300,000 votes for the Democrats for Warnock. If we went over to the governor race for this particular one, if I go over to the governor and we go back down to Georgia and go right back over to Fulton County, take a look here. Fulton County, Abrams won, but she got 288,000, may as well call it 290,000 votes, to Brian Kemp's 127. So this Fulton County, last time they were able to pull out a victory by finding enough votes here. Looking at the raw vote data, I don't see enough votes in Fulton County unless more people register to vote for the Senate runoff in Georgia and come out to vote on the runoff than they did on this election, which Georgia's election race, if the numbers are all there, let me zoom out here. If Georgia's in, so take a look here. What we got here for Georgia, we have what's that, about 5 million almost. that voted in this election for the Senate, and then for the governor race in Georgia, we have looks to be about three, no, um, almost 4.5 million that voted in the governor race. So unless they break records and for the Senate race, Herschel has a really good opportunity to pick up Georgia. A very good opportunity because, like I said, Oliver has with those 81,000 votes, that's 2% of the polls. If that is more towards the conservatives than it is towards the liberal Democrats, and this is Georgia we're talking about. But again, it depends on the counties where Oliver got his votes in. You could see this go either way, really. Now, why Mississippi hasn't been checked in for red, I don't know. It's obviously red, uh, but
Well, back Herschel and Warnock, right?
right?
And the
And the
independent
independent
vote.
vote,
That's
that's
basically the
basically the
same
same
shit
shit
as
as
Ross
Ross
Perot.
Perot.
People don't they
They
don't
don't
trust
trust
both candidates.
candidates.
Like
Like
I
I
like
like
Herschel, and I'll
and I'll
be
be
real
real
with you.
with you.
I like
I like
Herschel
Herschel
because he was
because
a
he was a
football
football
player.
player.
Warnock
Warnock
is a
is a
dirty
dirty
landlord,
landlord
and
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 you
a
know,
fake pastor at that.
a
a
very
very
fake
fake
pair.
pair.
He ran his wife over and cheated on her.
That's right.
That's right.
But
And he's out here
people,
promoting gay supremacy, and he's supposed to be a Christian pastor.
very
Very
big
big
gay
gay
supremacy.
supremacy.
How
And how
come
come
when they
when
asked
they
him in
asked him in
debate,
debate,
do
do
you
you
support
support
late
late
term
term
abortion? He never
He
answered
never
the
answered the
question.
question.
At least
At least
Herschel was
Herschel was
honest
honest
with
with
every
every
question that was
question that
asked
was
to
asked
him.
to him.
And that's
And
why
that's
I say
why I say
that
that
independent
independent
vote,
vote,
it's like
it's like
people
people
don't
don't
trust
trust
either
either
one of
one
them,
of them,
but
but
that
that
independent
independent
vote's
vote's
gonna
gonna
decide
decide
who's gonna
who's
go
gonna go
through
through
in the
in the
runoff.
runoff.
Well, I want to point over here because this one is the one that was most shocking to just about everybody was Pennsylvania. That
Yeah.
that Fetterman was able to flip a Republican seat in Pennsylvania. Pennsylvania, in my projections, is a lost cause. But if you look in here, it came down to Philadelphia and Pittsburgh. Where's Pittsburgh on my map here? Let's see. Uh, Zoom out a little bit and move it up. Go in. Boom.
Well, you
Well,
knew
you
he
knew
was
he
gonna
was
get
gonna get
Philly.
Philly.
You
Oh
know
You
yeah.
that.
know that.
So look, Philadelphia, 368,000 votes for Philadelphia, and I want to. This is important because Fetterman got a larger percentage in Philadelphia than Biden did in 2020. Here's Pittsburgh,
Mm-hmm.
350,000 votes. Fetterman got a larger percentage than Biden did in 2020. Now, we can't really say this on YouTube, but recall
Mm-hmm.
that in 2020 the vote came down to here and here, and also right up here in Erie County, which really shouldn't have mattered. It's only 55,000 votes that got him the victory in Erie County. So Pittsburgh and Philadelphia is where they were able to find a what 1.5 million votes. The math based off of this election projection, which had near the same turnout as was in 2020 between Pittsburgh and Philadelphia, the math just doesn't work out. It doesn't work out because
Excuse me.
Allegheny County is Pittsburgh, and then right over here is Philadelphia. This is the big one, Philadelphia County. But remember, Philadelphia has all of these too: Delaware County, Chester County, all of these other counties. But the math doesn't. If you tabulate all of these together in the Pittsburgh and the Philadelphia area, the math doesn't work together for 1.5 million in 2020. That's all I want to say about that.
I can get technical with it, but like, if you think about the people of Philadelphia, right? Like, you know what's going on in Philly. I know what's going on in Philly. The people know what's going on in Philly. Sorry. Why would you vote for Fetterman in Philly when he wants to open up 1/3 of the prison population? You want to make heroin legal, have motherfucking heroin-free sites.
Well, not only that, he let murderers out on the
Yes.
streets, and then they went out and killed people. And he wants to let a third of the prison population out, including murderers. But back up here to Detroit in Michigan. This county right here, John James won the 10th county right here outside of Detroit. Now that's impressive. It's only by a small margin, but it's impressive because Detroit, remember, this little sliver, and I want to, let me see if I can zoom out here. I want to show you. So in the 2020 election, what cost Donald Trump? Michigan. A little spot here, and there was a little spot up here, way up here in the top. Democrats are able to win a smaller portion of the vote up here, very small.
Wayne County.
But right down here, John James in the 10th district was able to secure victory. So that is really telling. Michigan might be able to go back to the Republican side. However, because the governor's race is handedly Democrat, seems like Michigan is still going to be a hard pull. Same thing with Wisconsin, even though Wisconsin was able to swap over to Republicans for Ron Johnson. Was it Ron Johnson? What's his name? Where is he at over here? No, Senate race was what it was, not House race. Senate race was for Ron Johnson. They were able to go back to Republican for Wisconsin, but the governorships here, this is what we have to really worry about when it comes to the 2024 election. It's these governor races because this is a testing for how they feel for executive power. New Hampshire going Republican means that we might be able to expect to see a New Hampshire vote Republican. Vermont, it's the same way. They might vote Republican in 2024. New York is where it's very interesting. Nobody would have expected that a 5 point margin is all they're separated from having a Republican governor. If you had a candidate that actually had energy, you might have actually had an upset here because there's Kathy Hochul has nothing to run on. How she managed to win New York is just New York City.
Well, yeah. That's what I would like to bring up. Like, who is Kathy Hochul's voting base? Who is she?
Let's take a look here. Let's look in more in
Because
depth.
she's not getting the vote in upstate New York.
Because look here, she got Thompson County. She got 24,000 votes. Buffalo, over here in Erie County, there's your 176,000.
And
Rochester,
that
Democrats. Rochester over in Monroe County.
Democrat.
Syracuse,
Democrat.
Then we go up here to Albany, and
Democrat.
we see another 60,000, and then we're going down here to Ulster, and right down here to Westchester County. Columbia County.
You see
But
now,
you take a look at the rest
go
of
ahead,
it.
go ahead.
You know, where's which county here is New York, as New York City? Because I'm looking here at at the tabulation: 176, 145, 88,000, 24,000, 43,000, 67,000, 25,000, 15,000. Maybe I'm counting it wrong. Maybe I haven't found looked at it right, but I don't know. Well, okay, no, this is all right. This is what it is. They haven't changed these over to to blue yet. Apparently, the vote hasn't been finished yet. They've only got 92% in, and so if this changes, if 92% of the vote in, New York should be done counting votes. I mean, come on, they're East Coast. They closed when Florida closed. They should have already been done counting votes. Florida has a higher population by almost 10 million. Uh, this is interesting because 92% of the vote is in, and Kathy Hochul is projected to be the winner. But if you look here, these counties are still Republican. They haven't swapped over yet at 92% in. If this holds, Lee Zeldin could make an upset, but I think it's safe to say that the projection is correct that Hochul will win. But I don't know because let's see. That's Albany. That's Buffalo. Whoa, where's New York City at? Is it right here?
Down to the right.
Here it is. Now this is where I was
Yeah.
missing. Down here in New York. This is where I
Like
was missing.
cripple boy dick.
Looks like his legs. Uh, this is where I was missing out on because I was wondering like, where am I missing here? So we got New York's and the Bronx, Queens. So this is the area where things are interesting. But if he's able to, I don't know, gain some more leverage in some of these other counties, it could be an upset. But this is where I was looking for. I was expecting New York to be up here somewhere, but it's down here.
No, you got it right. That's New York City. The little thing right there is New York City. And now what I was trying to tell you earlier before, between the city and the state, there's 20 million people. Now in this election between Hochul and Zeldin, only 5 million voted. 5 million. So that means that 15 million didn't vote. You got to take into effect, children, immigrants, and fucking felons that can't vote. But if you just seen the large scale of New York State, how did Hope get her shit in New York City? Everybody in the state is against us. Look at the colors in the state. And look at the blue in the city. Explain that, King. What up, Jay?
Now, Jay, you're fired. Fix your microphone, you dirty Mexican.
Well, look. Yeah, go ahead.
You're fired.
I came in and I was like, what is that Kane, bro? The one and only Kane, the monster?
Yeah, what's good, B?
Just chilling, man. I just woke up, man. I fell asleep after the midterm. Been dead all lately. But continue. I'll just make it to the last show.
I don't know. This is echo on your point or my point.
Yeah, it's most likely me then.
I don't hear an echo. It might just be because you might be watching us on two different screens. But
hold on.
I'm going to I'm going to shift focus over here to Nevada because Nevada still
But
hasn't
hold
been
on,
called.
King. Go to New York. New York.
Want to head back to New York? What are we talking about here? Let's zoom in to New York City. This is as far as I can zoom.
Well, the city is right there. That's a little dig right there. Right.
Yeah, this is Crippled Hills as legs.
That's it. That's him. Now the majority of people voted in New York State. New York State has 12 million people. New York City has 8 million people. How the local get the fucking goddamn vote when the majority of the state voted for Zeldin. The majority of New York City did not vote. Please explain that, King.
And you're looking at the numbers right here. New York City, through Queens, all the way up through the Bronx, and even up into Westchester.
Niggas in the Bronx ain't voting, King.
Yeah, look at
They
that.
ain't voting.
148,000 votes for Hochul in the Bronx. And the Bronx has a hell of a larger population than that. Lee Zeldin only got 43,000. You go down to Queens, where the great Matt Super is. You got 259,000. Zeldin was able to get 152,000. So 100,000 point swing right there in Queens County. So these are very anomalous because if you take a look at the rest of the blue areas that were big blue areas, like Buffalo, look at Buffalo.
What is Buffalo's population, King? Was Buffalo's population?
I can't recall, but it's the second largest population in New York.
But I can guarantee you, the motherfuckers in Buffalo, the majority didn't vote.
But look here. If you compare Buffalo's turnout with the turnout that's over in New York, going based off of the data, New York City, and throughout all, look at Buffalo, 176,000 to 157,000. The split is only by about 20,000 or so votes. So New York City, we're seeing a much higher split. We're seeing 100,000 point swings. So a lot of stuff are odd in New York City. It seems like the trends that happens in Buffalo, that happens over here in Tompkins, that happens in Rochester, the swing that happen in all of these other blue areas in New York, they don't seem applicable in New York City. New York City has its own thing. So because you're seeing full 100,000 vote swings as opposed to 20,000 here, a few thousand there, a few thousand here. You're seeing 100,000 point swings here, and here. You're seeing entire wipeouts here, and still there's only one deep blue area in New York City, and that's the Bronx. All the other ones are blue, but they aren't deep blue. When the only one that's deep blue, according to this, is 77% of the Bronx voted for Kathy Hochul versus Queens is at 62%, Kings is at 71%.
What you say, Kings County?
Yeah, Kings County is at 71%. Now Kings County, that's a larger swing than the Bronx. The Bronx is at 77%, but only what 200,000 people voted in the Bronx.
That's bullshit right there. Because Kings County is the Bronx.
Kings County got what looks like 300,000, 370,000 for Hochul, 150,000 for Zeldin. That's over a 250,000 point swing.
Wow. You want to talk about Kings County? That's rich white people over there. That's what do you call that? When the white people take over in the poor neighborhood?
The white replacement,
Nah, that wasn't replacement.
black flight. I don't know.
No, what the fuck is shit called? When white people move in a black neighborhood and they take over.
Would you stay still, Jay? Yeah, where the fuck would you go?
You see,
Gentrification. Gentrification.
Making him over there, it's not. But if you're replacing everybody else, that's just called like
Dalman just said it.
I've heard
Gentrification.
like that though.
Yeah. Echo Neck. Shut up a minute. Gentrification has taken over Kings County. See now, after 2020, all the white people moved into fucking Kings County. Just like in Riverdale and shit like that. So now you got. I don't want to get you banned, but these are rich fucking Jews that fucking take over the fucking neighborhood. But back to fucking Albany. Not Albany. What's this little shit over here?
It's at Buffalo.
Yeah. My touchscreen work?
No, only mine works.
Fuck you, then. There are more people voting in Kings County in that little blue area that you're pointing to.
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying. Kings County, there's a 500, almost 600,000 people that voted in Kings County, because you do the math. 300 and 100, that's 400. Then you have another 100,000 right there. 500,000 people voting in Kings County alone, and that swing between Kathy Hochul and Lee Zeldin is over 200,000.
And King, this is how I try to explain to you. This is true white supremacy. And it's not fucking skinheads. It's
now, while you're talking about white supremacy,
white liberals have come into the Bronx and invaded.
But while we're talking about white supremacy, I want to move over to an area where white supremacy really could be a problem, because Hispanics, I mean, both of you are Hispanic of origin.
Yes, sir.
We got a Puerto Rican and a wetback. So Nevada, let's go over to Nevada. The projections from the Fox News decision desk last night, which they have not called this yet, they still say that the governor's race could still go to Republicans. The House in Nevada, this is what we're looking at for the House race in Nevada. Right here, this is law. In case people are wondering what's going on here, this is Las Vegas. So this blue area in Las Vegas, it still hasn't been called, but what we're seeing here is the rural areas we are dominating, and this Nevada's 4th district hasn't been called for the Democrat, despite the fact that they're in at 86% of the vote is in, and there's more than a 10,000 point difference. I don't know that the Republicans will be successful in taking Nevada's 4th district, but you go down further, and we're seeing that these districts down here are also around the same margin. Heck, we have a very close one right here, in District 3, but they're saying that it's 50% to 49. That math doesn't really work, if you ask me, because the vote is, look at that, it's only 3,000 votes difference. They should be much closer than that to me. And then, of course, in the Senate race in Nevada, this one we're also watching as well. If you look at the Senate race in Nevada, it's going to come down to, again, Las Vegas and Clark County. And the Democrats are going to win Clark County, but what they're talking about here is they're saying they're thinking they can get over the threshold if they can get Adam Laxalt to squeeze out some more votes in these rural areas because 60% of the population of Nevada is right here. And this is along with let me back out here, along with Arizona. This is Hispanic territory. Now, Arizona, Maricopa County is what we're looking for. Let's go to the Senate race because that's what's most interesting right now is Mark Kelly and Blake Masters. I don't know that I believe in Masters' chances of pulling it off. But you look at Tucson, you look at down here, Coochie County, um, Santa Cruz. That one's really, really close. But the big one here is right here in Phoenix, in Maricopa County. Blake Masters is only trailing behind by almost 100,000 votes. So it's about 93,000 votes he's trailing behind in Maricopa County. And this is only at 76% of the vote in, and we know that there's some election problems in Maricopa County because 25% of the early votes didn't get to go through because apparently there was a machine malfunction and it wasn't able to read those ballots. So if Masters can close the gap in Maricopa County, he has a pathway to victory, but you don't get victory in Arizona without Maricopa County. You just can't because this is 60% of the population of Arizona. It's right here in Phoenix, in Maricopa. So you two being Hispanics, what do you see in the Hispanic population? Because we know if we zoom this all the way back out, another Hispanic stronghold is right here in Florida, and the Republicans crushed Florida. This is the only place that the red wave happened was in Florida. Marco Rubio won the Senate race in Florida down here. And the governorship, Ron DeSantis handedly won in here. Ron DeSantis won everything except for it looks like Orange County. Not Orange County, but yeah, looks like he didn't win Orange County and he didn't win Lucha County and up here in Tallahassee and Leon County and in Gadsden County. But everywhere else, Ron DeSantis absolutely crushed Florida. And the House race, the Republicans managed to pick up almost every seat in Florida. Every seat that was up for Republicans to gain, they were able to pick up. They, obviously the Democrats kept some seats, as you can see here, but the Republicans swept through Florida. I mean, look here, Tallahassee. If you go back to the governor's race, you see that Tallahassee in the governor's race has some blue spots there, but in the House, not a single one.
Wow.
So, it's clear that there is a shift with Hispanics. So, what are you two guys seeing in the communities? Particularly, I want to hear.
Maybe because DeSantis is back good, because of his whole COVID, opening up the state.
Well, that also has a big factor in it because DeSantis, not only that, but he has a very good track record to run on with his hurricane preparedness after that hurricane that happened there. But I want to hear from you, Al, man, about about your idea on Hispanics, especially because the Bronx with AOC. So we know that Hispanics have been leaving AOC. I don't know. Did Mara Flores win her race in Texas?
She
Jay?
lost, bro. That's
Well,
what I've been so angry about. I was like, we've been complaining about ourselves more, and then Flores comes and loses to Gonzalez or something like that. I'm like, dude.
so
I thought we were supporting this.
so what are you? So
She
what
was
are you?
all about the border. And
So what are you-
all
So what are you seeing with this album, man? I want to know, what do you think about the Hispanics and the shift that's happening?
Alman's gonna give you his honest opinion. It's like y'all motherfuckers America. Y'all grouping Hispanics is one group. Hispanics, we different. We're different. Like we don't all identify as one group. Jay is Mexican. Right. I cannot identify him on that level because he's Mexican. It's like you can't identify Puerto Rican, Dominican, Mexican, niggas from Venezuela. You can't put us all up in one group. Now, if you look at Florida, those are Cubanas. They're fleeing motherfucking Cuba.
Yep. That's where they keep it.
I mean, Jay, do you agree?
Yeah, no, that's where they go to. Mexicans usually go to the Texas border and New Mexico. But most of us are very conservative with all of our values.
Jay, as a Mexican, can you identify as the Boricua? Dominicano? Yeah, y'all have a mixture. But maybe y'all talk faster. Y'all are a little bit more. Well, I'm speaking slow on that, but like Odin is nothing against you. You can't put us all in one group. We have different opinions.
Well, that's what Joe Biden said about you guys.
That we're just burritos.
Joe Biden said, what did he say? He said you have to understand that unlike the black people, Hispanics are an incredibly diverse group. And then Jill Biden comes out and says that you guys are as unique as the breakfast tacos and the bogatas on the street corner.
Bogatas.
Hey, watch this, Odin. You should tell Dominican, hey, are you Mexican or Cuban if they're Mexican? And they will
we used to do that with my grandfather-in-law, Pablo. He's from Honduras, and we used to say, "Oh, you Mexican!" Oh, he would get so pissed off when you call him a Mexican. He's like, "I'm from Honduras."
I was on Discord the other night. Right? There was another Mexican. Not Mexican. He was from somewhere else. Maybe I don't know. But the thing was, they were saying basically that Mexicans were like the lowest. And I was like, bro, I got angry. I was like, how y'all say that?
Well, Jay. You can't get angry at the truth. I mean, you guys are the roaches that scrape the end at the bottom of the barrel. I mean, you guys are just. I mean, you're pegged beneath the Puerto Ricans, and the Puerto Ricans ruined Harlem. So, you guys are the worst of the worst.
No. This is where I give the Mexicans. Mexicans. They're more original Americans than Puerto Ricans, Dominicans, Ecuadorians. Like Puerto Ricans, we were created. Mexicans have been here for thousands of years.
No, we were created too by the Spaniards.
Well, yeah. I mean, you originated from Asia, came in South America. And then you adopted the motherfucking European language of Spanish. But you were here long before us. I like Puerto Ricans. We have Taino Indians, and this is why Puerto Ricans are superior beings because we have all three breeds of the human race.
Puerto Ricans are able to speak with goats, which is what helped them keep the livestock together.
You know what? You're gonna die with an old parrot named Otis, nigga. And that parrot's gonna have one eye, nigga.
But I want to do this because this is as this has not been something that we were expecting to see tonight. I know the Republicans are really disappointed, but this is right around what I predicted will kind of happen because I don't really have the faith that the Republican Party will be able to do anything. But let's take a look at what we have here in 2024. Jay, I'm going to go with you, and then I'm going to go to the owl man. I want you to take a look at this board, Jay. We need 270 to win. Let's assume that Donald Trump is running for president in 2024. We won't know until next Tuesday. Trump is supposed to be making an announcement on the 15th. Maybe he'll let us know whether he's going to run for president or not in 2024. I don't know whether or not DeSantis would run because he just won in Florida, and that would cut his term short in Florida if he were going to go run for office immediately afterwards. And that might cause Florida to shift back blue if DeSantis leaves in the middle of his term. So that's really a scary race to watch. So Jay, what's going to go for what party? Let's start up here. Let's start with the obvious ones. Texas. Is that going to be Republican?
Texas might go blue, bro.
You think Texas is going to be blue in 2024?
Yeah. The rate it's going right now, and Beto's, I see so much people loving Beto.
Well,
Yeah,
Beto just got his ass crushed by Abbott.
No, he didn't.
For a second,
like 45%.
For a second time, he just got crushed by Abbott, just like Stacey Abrams just got slammed in Georgia by Brian Kemp.
We'll see. A lot of people hate Abbott because of the winter cold. Which is not his fault. That's not his fault. Because the grid is connected differently. It's just going out of Texas, and then because of these green policies that we've lost. What's up?
Do you? Or
I think I'm
scared
of blue. I'm scared to go blue.
You think Texas is going to be blue? So I'm going to leave Texas as a toss-up. Okay, Texas is a toss-up. Arizona. Do you think Arizona goes blue, or does it stay blue, or does it go red?
I think it's gonna go red.
You think Arizona can go red, even though it's been running blue for the last couple of terms? What about Nevada? Is Nevada going to go red, or is it going to stay blue? Right now, the polling looks like it's going towards red, but I think it'll stay blue. What do you think?
Sure.
Think it's going to be blue? All right, so let's go over here. Minnesota, the place where the George Floyd nonsense happened. If we take a look at our polling right here, Minnesota looks to be heavy blue there. If we go to our interactive map that I have down here, where is it at? Right down here. We go to this interactive map. On the House level, Minnesota looks like it's going to be all red. In the governor's race, Minnesota is blue. In the Senate race, Minnesota did not have a Senate race for this year. So, what do you think about Minnesota's chances? Is it going blue or is it going red?
For sure, blue, man.
Do you think it's going to stay blue?
Nope.
What about Wisconsin?
Blue.
You think it's blue? Michigan? You think that's going to go blue?
Those are just for me.
Okay, but even though Trump was able to get these his first time around, all three of them.
Was he really?
But you think it's going to go blue and stick the way it is right now? Okay. Yeah, Ohio. Yeah. Do you think Ohio is going to go blue, or do you think it's going to stay Republican?
Red. I think red is taking over right now.
And I think we can say Iowa will be red. Okay, we know Florida is going to be red. I think Florida is safely red for right now. Nebraska is red.
Can I ask a question?
Go ahead.
And for my nigga Jay, I don't like this Latinx bullshit. Jay, as a Mexican, who were you taught to vote for? Because I know in New York, They tell us to vote blue. But as a Mexican sexes, like who did they try to push towards?
Well, we in the countryside and the oil side, especially West Texas, North Texas, we're all gonna red. But I've seen a lot of like colored hair white people walking around homeless lately. So they're taking over. They're it's like that white supremacy you're talking about, right? You know how these liberals come in, they know they want Texas, bro. And so that's why I'm saying it's gonna go blue, because I'm just seeing them all over the place. But as a Mexican dude, we've always been red. I mean, there's like maybe I'd say like 5%, 10% that are actually hardcore leftists. And they'll be like, you're not even Mexican. But all it's doing to them is just making them look really pansy. But like we're conservative, we're macho.
It's like in my culture, right? Or my island, we already considered American citizens. Now Mexicans, you gotta come into America and become American. Does that sway your decision on who you vote for?
For sure, man. I mean, back in the day, I've always found the atrocities of the southern border when it comes to them smuggling people, letting them die, and all this craziness and all the violence that cartel gets more power. That's the only reason I as a Mexican, don't like the illegal immigrants, because it's the horrors of the southern border. But I mean, if they want to come to America, they got to do it legally. But I mean, it's just sad. I remember when I was a little kid, just kind of. That's my head. I see like little kids and bumpers and cars. And what was it? Just like what? That's 2 months ago. A whole 18-wheeler of dead Mexicans. I was like, this is the most amazing thing in the world. And Mexicans on the border of Texas, dude, they're laughing at us. They're like, we own this border. We can smuggle whatever the hell we want. So Mexican Americans that were born here, we don't really like to be honest. See what's happening in the border.
So now let me ask you this Mexican shit, right? Like, is there like a discrimination on skin color?
No, it's just Mexicans. Just they. I was actually having this conversation with some Mexican friends of mine. The Mexicans, because we're proud to be Mexican. But the Mexicans don't like American Chicanos. They say that that's basically that white. And they're racist as hell to us. I mean, if you want to hear racism, go to talk to a Mexican and a Chicano.
It's like Jay, I'll be real with you. It's like I grew up in New York my whole life, and the only time I ever seen a Mexican, they were short little dark hobbit niggas, and they used to wash dishes. And it wasn't until I went to Cancun, I know they like Mexican bitches. I was like, what? Hey, yo, got some beautiful women over there. But
yeah, for sure, man. All the white skin Mexicans are from Chihuahua. And that's where my mom comes from. That's the whole reason I look quite connected. But dude, we are pretty dark.
Jay, you don't look like a white. You don't look like a white complexion, Jay. You look like an Arab reject. Like they shipped you to the southern border to get rid of you.
Alhamdulillah.
Yeah, you got and then it doesn't help that you keep getting kicked out of all your little Arab groups on Facebook too.
Dude, I got banned from one of my Arab groups.
But you realize like Jay is high on the scale because he's light skin. He does look like Chicano.
So I want to keep going here. Jay,
Sorry to interrupt this shit, man.
No, but that's true. It has to be explained to the only African in here.
but Jay,
Oh.
well, first of all, Jay, I'm not an African. Never lump me in with those monkeys. I'm an American.
Oh, man, crazy, bro. Oh,
But,
man, Jesus. I apologize to the people for him.
Yeah, fuck the people.
Shit.
This is my show. I can say whatever the fuck I want.
My bad. I didn't mean to fuck shit up.
So,
I just think
Georgia.
seen nigga in a minute. I miss this nigga Jay.
Georgia. Do you think Georgia
yeah.
gets? Do you think Georgia goes blue, or does Georgia go back red?
I'm gonna say just keep it red.
Oh, it was not red. It's blue.
Right now?
Well, as far as the presidential election was concerned, this is for presidential elections for 2024. In 2020, Georgia went blue for Biden.
Yeah, but why?
If it's gonna go red.
You think because you think it's going to go red?
I'm hearing a lot of negative feedback for Donald Trump.
Well, those are the same people who are negative about Trump to begin with. But you're going to
No. I'm talking about my hardcore conservatives.
Those hardcore conservatives, they ain't hardcore conservatives. Don't listen to them. They're lying to you.
We're Genesis.
They're lying to you. So you're going to say it's red. Okay.
Can we call ourselves conservatives when all three of us are sinners?
Well, I'm not a sinner. I'm a god.
Oh, you're not a sinner?
King Odin never sins.
Well, see, that's the beautiful thing Cain said. That's what we need to do for this country. Make sure everybody knows they're sinners. So that they can get remedies.
Shut up, Jay. This is not a Christian show.
This is a Christian show.
Join the show on Sunday, and you can do your Christian bullshit. This is news.
You know what? This is what I'll say, man. I don't like this dude.
This is hard. This is hard news. This is facts. Join on Sunday, and you can do your Christian
Jay.
So, North Carolina. Look at this guy. Is that going to go red or is that going to go blue?
I'm not sure about that side, to be honest.
North Carolina was red last time, so we'll do it red again. Pennsylvania. Do you think Pennsylvania is going to go red or blue?
Blue.
Yeah, I'm thinking. I think Pennsylvania's can't be saved anymore. Maine's red usually. The blue section of Maine is only 1 point.
Why can't Pennsylvania be saved?
If Pennsylvania was stupid enough to put Fetterman in the Senate, Pennsylvania can't be saved.
Dude, they're stupid as. Oh shit! How you gonna?
I don't want to get the channel kicked off the motherfucking YouTube universe. But do you really think that shit legit?
Look, regardless of whether I think he did it legit or not, YouTube.
He's a moron.
The fact is, Pennsylvania's election laws are so fucked up that people started voting 2 months ago before they ever heard a debate. And remember, this is what I was trying to get to fucking Quibbles and that I was talking to and the other fucking thing. The same thing that I've been telling Jay all this time. Why is it so important for you to do your own research and your own homework? I tell Jay this every single time he comes in and he's drinking or he's something, and he says that I just slap all of his confidence out of him because of convictions. And I say, well, Jay, if you fail that easy, it's because your convictions weren't true, because they crumbled when you were challenged by somebody. The problem with Pennsylvania is right now, because of their election laws, you never get to see anybody uphold their convictions and their beliefs. So there's no challenge. So you don't actually get to know whether or not these people are for what they say they're for. And because of that, Pennsylvania, in my opinion, is a lost cause for a little while.
Well, you know what? I'm hard on my convictions. What are you talking about? I've been doing this for 6 years, man. But I'll tell you this, man. Today, I lost a lot of because I was like, dude, if these people are still gonna vote blue, no matter how bad they want to make the kids to stay owned and mutilation, LGBT supremacy, border drugs, dude, it's just screwed, man. These people are unredeemable. I don't think.
So, Jay, according to you, in 2020 and 2024, the Democrats only need New Hampshire or Maine to win the election. Or Georgia could stay blue and the Democrats win. According to you,
Dude.
2024, Biden will be president again because New Hampshire typically goes blue. Maine typically goes red here and red there. And then Texas is red. This is what it will look like, 273 to 265. But if Georgia stays the way it is, this is what we look at. This is a repeat of 2016 almost. So now that we've seen what your map looks like, your map puts us at this because you honestly think that Texas could flip.
Oh yeah.
So this is what your map looks like if Texas flips. 313 to 225. Republicans lose in a blowout. So let's get the Owlman's take. Owlman, 2024. Assuming Donald Trump is running for president and DeSantis is staying in Florida as governor, what do you think's happening? What do you think's happening? First off, what do you think's happening in New York? New York's damn blue?
I think New York is slowly going red. But after this midterm election, Joe Biden might have a chance to become president again.
Okay, so what are you thinking? Let's get all the Democrat stuff out of the way. Pennsylvania, you think that's going to be Democrat 2024?
I think it's going to be purple.
So we're going to leave that as a toss-up. Okay.
Yep.
New Hampshire, is that going to be Democrat?
Yeah.
Okay, what about Maine? Do you think Maine will be Democrat or Republican in there? So we're going to do Maine on these two districts is 3 Republican seats to 1. Okay, so what about Georgia?
Red.
You think Georgia's going to go back to the Republican side?
Yep.
Okay. Arizona, what are we looking at over here?
Revolution.
You think it's going to go red, or is it going to be a toss-up?
No. I think for 2024 election, the official start of the second Civil War is going to start in Arizona.
So
That's pretty
Arizona.
I gotta say
Blue. Nevada. What about Nevada? If we're looking at polling data today, they think it's going to flip to the Republicans. So you think Nevada's going to go red?
Yeah, red.
That'll be the first time Nevada's gone red in over 50 years. Minnesota, home of George Floyd. What do you think's going on up there?
Blue.
Think it's going to stay blue?
Yeah.
All right. Since Minnesota's blue, Wisconsin tends to follow. What do you think about Wisconsin?
I think Wisconsin is red.
Red. What about Michigan? Your boy John James finally won something up there. Is that giving you new hopes?
By 2024.
By 2024.
Michigan red.
Red. Ohio. I think that's an obvious red.
Red.
Iowa. I think that's a red one.
Red.
Okay. Nebraska 2. I think that's red. Okay. Texas. You think that's going to swap like Jay thinks it is?
No, it's going to stay red.
Stay red. Florida.
Hopefully.
What about
Red.
Red.
Oh yeah.
All right. So that's 1 point away. So it comes down to North Carolina and Pennsylvania. North Carolina, do you think that's going to be red or blue?
Oh no, I'm smoking the black. North Carolina.
Now, bear in mind, I want to put this out to everybody. Pennsylvania, North Carolina, and Georgia were also Alaska, even though we don't care about Alaska too much. But these three, Georgia, North Carolina, Pennsylvania, all of these stopped counting the ballots on election night in 2020.
I think North Carolina's going blue.
You think it's going to go blue?
It's gonna be
If
blue.
North Carolina goes blue, then it comes down to Pennsylvania. The Republicans have to win Pennsylvania. The Democrats have to win Pennsylvania. And it would be a dead tie.
I'm going Pennsylvania. It's gonna go red.
You think the Republicans can take Pennsylvania?
Yes.
Okay, so you're looking at a 288 to 250. Republicans win. Jay says that it's going to be 313 to 225 in favor of the Democrats. Okay, now let me see what my predictions are going to be.
Wait, what's my prediction?
Your predictions were what I just had.
Republican winning.
Republicans winning at 288.
Yep.
So my predictions are, I'm gonna get the Democrats out of the way. I think Arizona stays blue. I think Minnesota and Wisconsin stay blue. I think New Hampshire's going to be blue. Georgia's a toss-up, in my opinion. Michigan, I think it's going to go red. I think that's going to stay there. I think we're going to see Maine 1 and 2. It's going to be there. Nebraska. I think Texas stays. I think that's there. And I think North Carolina goes to the Republicans and Florida.
Wait,
So
why North Carolina's going red?
Just based off of Trump's victory in 2020, North Carolina was red. North Carolina was red in 2016. I don't see enough evidence to show that North Carolina is going to change. But the election stuff that happened in 2020 does have me up in arms about North Carolina because they stopped counting and they didn't start counting again until Georgia had already called their race for the Democrats. And then North Carolina decided to go ahead and finish counting the 3% they had left and call it for Trump. So that's the thing. So I think the toss ups for me are going to be Nevada, Pennsylvania, and Georgia. If I'm going by the polling data right now, I think the Republicans can take Nevada, but I think Pennsylvania is a lost cause. So then it comes down to Georgia.
I don't think Pennsylvania is a lost cause.
So for me, it comes down to Georgia. And Brian Kemp, he was able to win in 2020, but Trump still lost Georgia in 2020. So it's a really tough one to go with that one. But I'm gonna say the Republicans can pull off Georgia if Herschel Walker can pull off the victory there. That would give us Republicans 275, Democrats 263. Now this is assuming that that we get Michigan. If the Democrats take Michigan, then it swaps and Republicans lose. So these are really the focus points: Minnesota, Wisconsin, Michigan, Georgia, Pennsylvania. Also Nevada. Nevada's 6 seats don't matter nearly as much as Georgia's 16 and Pennsylvania's 19, but Michigan is really one to watch. Wisconsin and Minnesota, they trend together, but not always. But Wisconsin has been very, very blue lately. But I'm going to hold on to the faith that your boy John James is a good sign for Michigan
Run
staying
it.
red. So I'm going to go with Michigan red, but if Michigan stays blue, then this is what it's going to look like according to my projections. And that's assuming Republicans take Georgia back. Because if they don't take Georgia back, then we're at 294.
I think the deciding factor in Michigan is going to be in flux with Muslims. And Muslims are going to vote red.
Because let's go back down right here. This is Michigan. Okay. Let me. What's going on here? Oh no, I don't want that map. I want the other map.
Where's the town that Obama made? With he like put all the immigrants in there.
That's in Washington D.C. somewhere. No, not Washington D.C. So it's over here somewhere.
I think it's above New York.
No, it wasn't New York. It's by Massachusetts. So it's over here on the beach area of Massachusetts. It's all right way over here.
What about all these elite came in the last 4 years? They actually get a license and a license to vote, which is what they want.
So if we click here,
Texas.
Here we are in Michigan. Okay. Here we are in Michigan. Let me zoom this out just a little bit so we can see Michigan on the House race. What it comes down to in Michigan is right over here in Lansing, Michigan, and around Detroit. And then we also have the Grand Rapids up here. Now, if you look right here, this is pretty red. And Trump lost because there was a speck of blue over here. A speck, because I went back and I looked at 2020 and compared it to 2016, and this is the exact same almost as 2016 where Trump was able to win. But in 2020, when Trump lost, there was a speck of blue up here. But you also have to understand that this map looks a little bit differently as far as the counties are concerned because of redistricting. So the Democrats have lost a district up here due to people leaving. That's the reason why we're not seeing that little blue speck, I would imagine. Which means that we're probably going to see larger vote pools down here. Michigan's going to be a tough one to call. Take a look at Wisconsin. This little area right here calls so much of the vote. This is Kenosha. And there's Milwaukee. Wisconsin's 2nd district and 4th district are what decides to vote in Wisconsin. This is why the Electoral College is so important. And I really wish that we had an Electoral College in the states themselves, because you look at Wisconsin. Could you imagine living here but having to bow down to this speck?
See, that's what I'm telling you, dude. Texas is all red except for Houston, Austin. And
Texas is all. Let me go down here. Texas has always been all red except for Austin and Houston and Dallas and the big cities. So where the gay supremacists live.
Dude, that's all it takes.
But take a look. I think Texas stays. If this is the House race. Mm-hmm. If this is what Texas looks like in the House race, and this is San Antonio region, San Antonio El Paso region, right over here, and if this is what Texas looks like, I think Texas can stay a solid red. But it depends on what's happening here, because you're seeing the Democrats from California leaving and they're coming into Texas. But at the same time, take a look at California. This is interesting over here. Look at California. California is getting deeper red areas, but still, these are the rural areas. But you take a look at all this blue here, Los Angeles. We have blue over here in San Jose and San Francisco, Sacramento. But California, California is becoming something of interest, along with New York. California and New York are becoming something of interest, and Republicans can really mess up the House. Maybe not the presidential election, but Republicans can really start messing up House elections for uh, for Democrats and gain a greater majority in the House by focusing some money in some of these areas here that are leaning red but are closer to some of these smaller districts in the inner city. Because, for example, over in New York, Republicans were able to take New York 17, where's the 17th district of New York. There's District 19, District 18, here's 17. They were able to take out Patrick Maloney, and he's been in office for what, 40 years?
I heard about that one.
And Maloney is the number 3 Democrat. He's the one that sets up all of their campaigns and organizes where all their money goes. And Republicans were able to do that if they were able to make an upset in New York. Now, this is also because New York has also had to redistrict, so Maloney never had to run against somebody. So this is experimental. Maloney could take this back in 2 years because he has never had to run against somebody in this particular district because this is a new after the redistricting. So in 2 years, this could be different. But if this is trending, this could mean that if you can reach some of these more conservative districts in the inner cities of New York and California, you could start to have a trickle effect across the state and start to mess up some of their majorities in the vote.
Well, what if they did all the damage they needed to do in those states, and now their next objective is to take Texas? That's what my fear is.
Well, it's not as easy as that because if they decide they want to move out of New York, of California, they have these other places to worry about in New York as well. New York has a lot of people that have fled to Florida, and Florida is still blue, still red, and it looks like it's going to be a Republican stronghold, and it's no longer projected to be a swing state. Um, but there are a lot of issues. Normally, I wouldn't say this, but Mississippi is going to be something to watch in the next couple of years because of, unfortunately, you have them trying to pull the race card on a young black kid who got killed down here by the police because he was brandishing guns and trying to gang bang and running around being a fool. But they've got the same lawyer that did the George Floyd stuff down here trying to make money here in Mississippi. Mississippi's Delta region has always been very, very blue, and it's run by a black Democrat, Benny Thompson. But Mississippi is going to be interesting to watch in the next several things. I'm shocked that my friend Alden Johnson was able to get 2%. He did better than I expected him to do. But Mike Ezell here in our district really ran away with the race at 74%. You know,
Is Alden Johnson one of your interviewed?
Yeah, we interviewed Alden Johnson.
I've been hearing the third parties are kind of going a little bit like the liberals are kind of leaving the leftist party, which is the Democrats now. They took over the Democrats. Now I think some liberals are kind of like, hey, what, man, too much, guys. And then probably they're going Green Party or something.
So this is Gonzalez.
Flores lost, man.
Here's Meyer Flores. Meyer Flores lost to Vincent Gonzalez in the 34th district. and looks to be by about 30,000 votes. No, not 30,000. 20. No, not even 20,000 votes. About 11,000 votes. Looks like that was what it was. About 11,000 votes that Myra Flores lost here, and it doesn't look like it would have mattered with the independent Chris Royal because they only got 4,000 votes. But that could have made a difference there. You pull right over next door, and you're seeing Monica de la Cruz right next door in the 15th district, and that race was pretty close as well. But you look at the general location, okay? This is right on the Mexico border. So this area is going to have a heavier influx of Democrat voters anyway because of first-time voting Mexican immigrants. Okay, so this is always going to be difficult to try to get uh, a Republican to win in. So I don't think this should be too shocking. What should be shocking is that it was this close, within 10 points. That's what should be shocking for the Democrats. Just as even though Lee Zeldin didn't win the governor's race in New York, look how close it is. It's within 5 points for a Republican to take back New York for the first time in 20 years. That's shocking stuff. So if Republicans can get good quality candidates that are America first, that have that message good, because let's talk about DeSantis. DeSantis is good because he's Trump without the flaws. And I don't really think Trump has many flaws to begin with because he's just he's just a real person. That's how real people think and talk. But this Trump has 50 years in the limelight. So he has a lot of baggage that you can go dig up on him because he's had a very public life, being a mega celebrity and very wealthy man, always on TV all over the place. So DeSantis doesn't have any of that Trump baggage because
Well, okay, so
DeSantis is what, it's like 44. Trump is almost 80. So Trump has DeSantis by almost 50 years in age. So and Trump has a long history that the Democrats can go after, and it's none of his history that they go after him for, as far as policy is concerned, is bad history. But because he has baggage that the Democrats can go after, because he's such a public figure that they can go find and doctor videos and things like that, and say things that people can believe that somebody of his status would do, even though it may not be true or have any evidence to be true. DeSantis doesn't have that same thing. So what Republicans need to do is they need to find people that are like DeSantis and push them in these governor's races. Kerry Lake was something that we thought we were going to be able to look at here. Um, and it looks like it's tightening. 76% in, Kerry Lake is tightening the race. She might be able to do it because this was a while ago when I checked that was a more than 60,000 vote difference. Now it's only about 10,000, 13,000 vote difference there. Kerry Lake may be able to do something in New York, not New York, Arizona, but these are the type of candidates that they need to start pushing. Kerry Lake, DeSantis, people like that. If Republican Party can get people like that in there, and they have to be people that are unapologetic to the media. You know, I was telling the Owl Man, uh, I think it was a couple of days ago. Sometimes I have dreams about myself talking to the media as a political candidate, where I just tell the media to fuck off. Like they ask me a stupid question, and I'll be like, "Oh, why would you be so stupid? Just fuck off," and just say it in the camera. And sure, is that rude? Yeah, but if it's done right, voters would appreciate somebody that was trying to get stuff done, and it's not all about the rigmarole. Like I said, I was telling the Alamo, like, I'm going to Washington to get stuff done. I'm not there to make friends. So all of you can fuck off. I'm not voting for any of you for speaker. I'm going to write myself in. So, my buddy Rhett actually wrote me in on the ballot too. Uh, yeah. Any vote that we couldn't decide on, we just wrote each other's name in.
That's hilarious. I wouldn't. I'm gonna vote for myself.
I always vote for myself. I'm the only one that can do it. I'm the only one that can save this country. It's me.
I mean, it's really. What do you think is going to happen whenever Donald Trump goes full on for DeSantis? Like attacking him, saying, "Oh, I know what you nobody knows except for what your wife does." I'm gonna get you. I mean, he's been saying some stuff. I haven't been listening to Donald Trump. I'm sad about that.
Donald Trump, he has to prepare because DeSantis is going to be his competition if DeSantis decides to run. Now, if Donald Trump and DeSantis decide to work together, well, that's the most dangerous thing that the Democrats could ever have, because whether it's Donald Trump as president or Vice President Donald Trump, I don't think Trump will go for Vice President, but DeSantis is a hard candidate to win against. Trump is a hard candidate to win against. And if it's Trump DeSantis 2024,
landslide.
I don't know if it's a landslide, because I think Trump motivates Democrats like no other. And DeSantis is seen as the second coming of Trump. I think it will be a battle like no other. And it could be a landslide if the combination of Donald Trump and Ron DeSantis triggers the same outrage that it does for the Democrats. And if the Republicans stop being cowards and start taking advantage of everything that the Democrats take advantage of, flood the ballots with mail-in ballots, flood it with in-person ballots, get the dead people to go out and vote, do whatever is necessary. The Republicans could wave the country, but it's going to be a very, very difficult race to call. The polls are no longer trustworthy. We can no longer trust the polls to tell us what's going to happen because of how the election laws have changed so drastically. The polls haven't been able to change with the election laws to keep up. So where the election laws, where the polls were telling us that Oz would win over Fetterman, the polls didn't take into account the people who had already voted 2 months ago before they got to see Fetterman in the debate. So the polling data is going to be severely lagging behind. So now we can't go on polling data. We have to just push it as far as we can. And this is not me speaking as Republican, because I'm not a Republican. I hate the Republican Party, but they're the lesser of two evils right now. So it's what we have to work with until the American people wisen up and stop being so stupid and start to understand that there are other choices out there outside of the Democrats and Republicans. The Republican Party is what we have. And so we have to go with that.
Didn't Teddy Roosevelt did that? That's when he lost his reelection.
Teddy Roosevelt lost his own party. Teddy Roosevelt lost his election. because he created the Progressive Party, and he split the Republican Party, and he cost them the race to Woodrow Wilson.
Dude, he's the one that started the Progressive Party. That's not cool. I'm gonna have to look at that.
The Progressive Party under Teddy Roosevelt is not the same progressive that you have today. The Progressive Party under Teddy Roosevelt, it's better to change the word from progressive to the Imperialist Party.
Yeah. Okay. There you go. But I mean, how left can the Democrats go to actually keep so much power? I mean, they're getting more left, more radical. Just like how the conservatives are becoming more left. How much more left do you think the population can actually get?
I don't think they can get much more left than they are now. The only problem is that you have a new generation that's finally been able to put their voice into the mix. And that new generation has been engineered from an early age. And so that's where the problem is going to be coming from. See, I tried to do this all professional. I tried to put my best Bill Hemmer impersonation on. You don't even know who Bill Hemmer is.
No, I think I do.
He's the guy from Fox News that's always touching the board. You know, when he's doing if you were watching it on Fox last night, he was the one that was touching the board, circling stuff and all types of stuff like that.
That would be kind of cool. Like put it in your background. You see this time when you put things in your background, be like right here. I'm a weather person.
Well, that's why I got it up here on the screen, so people can see the screen.
Yeah, that's true. That is true. But with the election laws changing so much, and they keeping the voting mail, and they're just going to keep on doing this. They're going to keep on engineering it. Just doing it. So I mean, that's actually why people didn't even vote in the first place.
Well, the biggest problem. The biggest problem is that we don't know who's going to have control of the House for another week or two, because they're still counting and they're still counting. They won't be done counting until Friday at the earliest. It might take them another week. They're still counting. Alaska's still counting. Georgia's on a runoff. So Pennsylvania is still counting, even though they've already called the race for Fetterman. Pennsylvania's still counting. North Carolina, they still got some outstanding vote. They got to count some more of those in. New York has still some outstanding vote that needs to be counted. Michigan still has some vote that needs to be tabulated. Maine still has some that needs to be tabulated. New Mexico, I really thought that New Mexico would had a possibility to swap to Republican, but it doesn't look like it. But look, we got 99% of the race in. Republicans came close, within less than 1%. In any other district, this would be a runoff. In Georgia, if you can't get more than 5%, more than 0.5%, it goes to automatic runoff or automatic runoff. So this Gabriel Vasquez race right here, this could be a runoff. And if this is a runoff, I don't see enough votes here to swap the race. But if this is a runoff, you might be able to get a Republican in New Mexico. Up here is not as clear. Here it's clear, but right here in this district, in the second district, that you could get a Republican to win here. It's really close, but I think they're going to call it soon for Gabriel Vasquez, or they're going to call this as a runoff. But then again, you also have Nevada. Nevada still has some things going on. Arizona is still having things going on. Problem is, Maricopa County, that's going to be things, and they're still going to be counting for weeks. Alaska, you look at that. Alaska has red Senate races, but look at the House race in Alaska. Alaska's a blue state. People don't understand that. Alaska's red only in Senate and governorship. Its its House is run by Democrats. And
Was
take
Sarah Palin running against Alaska?
I don't think Sarah Palin was running in Alaska. Let's see the governor race. And, no, Sarah Palin was running on the Senate special election last time. But
I think I saw her name in the House.
But Lisa Murkowski got that. No, Sarah Palin's not running under House. No, yes, she is. Yes, she is. There she is. She's running on the House, and with the new way that they are tallying votes in Alaska, Sarah Palin is losing because of that. And Alaska's new law says that it's on a ranked choice voting system. In every other state, you would not have two. I can't show you with my finger, but you would not have two Republican candidates running on the same ticket. Okay, see right here, you have Republicans. Well, Alaska's ranked choice voting is you pick your first and your second and your third, and then they would rank them out, and whoever gets the most number ones wins. Well, the Democrat has no opposition on their side, so she's getting only number one votes. Sarah Palin is getting either one or twos or threes possibly. So this has split the Republican vote down completely. This is the Democrats' law. This has split their vote down in Alaska. If Nick Birch wasn't in there, Sarah Palin would win this vote handedly. But because it's split between two Republicans and neither one of them dropped out of the race to help the other one secure victory, the Democrats are going to take the House seat for Alaska.
You see, why wouldn't they work together? Why wouldn't they be like, you know what? I mean, of course, they're pretty close. Like, really close, but that's pretty stupid, dude.
Well, that's because of the way the election law is. They started this law this year. It's ranked choice voting. What that means is say, look at those three right there. Who you like the most? We're gonna do ranked choice voting, Jay. Who do you like the most out of those three candidates right there?
Sarah Palin.
All right, Sarah Palin's your number one. Who do you like next?
I don't know those two.
Or just pick one.
I'll go with Nick.
All right, so Nick's number two, and then Mary is number three. So I'm going to write down a 1, a 2, and a 3. Sarah's got a 1, Nick's got a 2, and the last one's got a 3. Okay, so let's say Rhett was on, and he said he likes Nick. Nick gets a 1, Sarah gets a 2, Mary gets a 3. Well, then let's say that that one of the liberals came on and they liked Mary. Mary gets a 1. Well, there's no other Democrat there, so all of the Democrats that are voting, they only have one candidate to vote for. So every Democrat is putting a 1 next to Mary, whereas the Republicans are either putting a 1 or a 2 next to Sarah or Nick, and that's how you got the breakdown right there. So your ranked choice is, even though Sarah Palin may be the preferred candidate of the Republicans, if you combine their two totals, 26.6 and 24.2, you combine those together, what do you get? You get 50, 60, 60.8%.
Damn. Yes,
That the Republicans would have already been called for Republicans as victors, but because of the new ranked choice voting, Sarah and Nick, neither one of them have been primaried out. They didn't get primaried out. They got round robin. Round robin is a tournament bracket type of thing where whoever wins such and such round moves on to the next round, and both of those guys won against their competitors, and they got moved on to the next round. Nobody got primaried out, so the vote is split between them, and Republicans are too stupid to help each other out and mitigate this damage by having one of them drop out. Republicans are too stupid to do that. Democrats didn't play any other people because they already knew what the game was. The game was we fucked up the election law to screw them out of an election. And that's exactly what's happening. Alaska goes blue.
That needs to be blasted
Because of their election law.
What other states are trying to adopt that?
Well, this is the first one, but Alaska, you can bet that Washington's watching it. You know that California is going to be watching it. You know that they're going to try to push it on Texas. They're going to try to push it on Nevada. They're going to try to push it on Arizona. And it all comes down to the state electors, the state electorate, the state legislature. They make the election law, and if there's a sufficient amount of Democrats in the state legislature of any of these states, then it could be possible that some other states could adopt that ranked choice voting.
If they try to Texas, I'm gonna say that every single day. Like, look what happened here. I mean, we got 2 years to do all this.
Yeah, but that's the issue that we're facing with right here. As you can see right here, because there's only one Republican running for a governor, it's a pretty handy victory for the Republican in Alaska. In the Senate race, it's a little bit different. The Democrat could win this race. I want you to understand this. Even though the Republicans are winning by 80%, over 80% collectively, the Democrat at 9% could still win this race. Why? Because she might have more number ones than Lisa or Kelly combined. And so even though they have won the race by over 40% and over 80% collectively, because of ranked choice voting, if Patricia gets more number ones than Lisa Murkowski or this Kelly person, she could still win the election with only 9%.
If that, I kind of want that to happen, so that the rest of the country can see it. But
and so that's something that we also have to look out for. Like I said, this is the reason why I said that Pennsylvania is no longer something that we can count on. We have to look towards Nevada, New Mexico, Arizona, and potentially New York. But the 2020 was the testing grounds for election laws. They changed a lot of election laws in 2020, and it was the testing grounds. And Democrats found out that they could steal elections by changing the law of how elections are tabulated and how they're done. And so that's what's going to hold up a whole bunch of stuff in the future, is what's happening in states like Alaska with their ranked choice voting and other issues. So, there's lots of problems that we will have from that.
Is there any way to undo these laws?
Yeah, the state electors could do it. But in order for you to undo the laws, you'd have to have a sufficient amount of people within the state legislature that will bring up a vote to overturn or go back to the old way of doing things. The problem is that I have never seen a case at all in political history where the majority switches from Democrat to Republican or Republican to Democrat, and then they vote to overturn a bill. It's never happened to my history where they voted to overturn a bill. So what we see in Alaska could be their new normal for permanently.
Stupid people.
Well, I think we've done enough here tonight. You came in late. Rhett didn't show up at all. You guys are both fired. Okay.
I'll choke you and burn down your studio. God.
I'll do the show by myself. I don't need either one of you fuckers anyway.
Good.
But
Tired of hearing bitch all the time.
But so what are you thinking, Jay?
Well, man, I mean, dude, I've been angry beyond all measure all day today just because of the whole voting stance, and I just think that nothing's gonna go back to normal. I'm just gonna keep on playing games, just waiting for who
You don't
can
even
do
play
what.
the game. You just sit there and throw stuff at people and scream.
I'm talking about the political game. Not only that, man. I mean, I talk to normal people now lately, like in my town, and nobody cares about politics. I don't think you can get any people to really give a crap about anything. And then whenever I start talking about all this stuff about the frauds and what they plan on doing, then there's like, well, then why vote? In my head, I'm kind of just like saying, why should I even say so much about that? Then people can be like, why should I vote in the first place then?
Well, so to end off, Jay, are you optimistic for 2024 for the salvation of the country? Or what do you think?
Donald Trump's going to fight with DeSantis, and Trump's going to lose a lot of support. DeSantis, I like the guy, but I don't think he's as strong as Trump to where he can actually deal with all of it and actually have the resources to do all of the attacks and nonstop harassment. Because that's part of the game plan too.
Well, obviously, that's the game of politics: slander, and more slander. Well, Jay, I'm tired, so take us out of here.
Well, this is SOA Story of America News with DeAndre Pace and Jay. Get out and vote. I mean, come on, people. This is like no other country can do this. I mean, you should know that this is a privilege, and you should thank God that we still have the chance to do this. And that's all I got for now, man. We got a whole year to just go crazy on people and say, hey, good luck.
Yeah, you had that long pause for that. Anyhow, thank you guys for watching us on this special election coverage for 2022. Follow us on YouTube. Well, not follow us. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Like, share, and comment on our videos. Follow us on Facebook. Follow us on Twitter, Truth Social, everywhere you can find us. Story of America, Payson Williams, Story of America, PW. Like, share, and download our content on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Radio Public, iHeartRadio, your sister's ass, the Pony Express, and we'll see you next time.